The field biology expedition on Kepler 438b had been going perfectly until Jake stumbled over a jagged rock formation and tore his arm open on the crystalline edge. The gash ran 5 inches down his forearm, deep enough to be concerning but not immediately life-threatening. His lab partner, a Delphinian student named Kixera, immediately activated her emergency beacon. Medical emergency. Trauma injury. We need an evacuation shuttle now. Jake looked at his arm, then at the panicking alien. Kix, relax. It's just a cut. Just a cut? Her bioluminescent patterns flashed distress signals. Your internal fluids are leaking. You need emergency medical intervention. It's like 6 inches. I've had worse making dinner. Jake shrugged off his backpack and pulled out the expedition's first aid kit. We're 3 hours from base camp. By the time the shuttle gets here, I could have this fixed myself. Kixera watched in mounting horror as Jake calmly laid out supplies: antiseptic, a curved needle, surgical thread, and a small bottle of local anesthetic. What are you doing? Stitches. Jake doused the wound with antiseptic, barely wincing as it foamed. Learned it from my dad. He was a field medic. But the medical professionals are 3 hours away, like I said. Jake threaded the needle with steady hands, despite the blood still seeping from the wound. Besides, this is pretty straightforward. Just needs to be closed up so I don't lose too much blood or get an infection. He injected the local anesthetic around the wound edges, waited 30 seconds, then positioned the needle at the top of the laceration. Kixera's entire body went rigid as Jake pushed the needle through his own skin. Stop. You're stabbing yourself. Well, yeah. That's how stitches work. Jake pulled the thread through and began the next stitch with the casual efficiency of someone who'd done this before. The anesthetic helps, but you still feel the pressure. This is insane. Kixera's voice climbed an octave. Your species just repairs itself while conscious? Voluntarily inflicting more pain? It's not that bad. Jake continued his work, his stitches neat and evenly spaced. Honestly, the antiseptic burned worse than this. You should see what my sister did when she sliced her leg open hiking. Superglued it shut and kept walking. Superglued? Medical-grade adhesive, technically. But yeah, same concept. Jake tied off another stitch. Humans are pretty good at emergency self-care. Kind of had to be, historically. Medical help wasn't always available, so you learned to patch yourself up. Kixera was now recording this on her data pad with trembling appendages. My biology professor said humans were fragile. That you require constant medical supervision. Jake laughed, then grimaced as the movement pulled at his stitches. Fragile? Kix, humans have walked off bullet wounds, survived falls that should have killed us, and kept fighting with broken bones. He tied off the final stitch and snipped the thread. We're not fragile. We're just really, really stubborn about staying alive. He cleaned the closed wound again and wrapped it with gauze. There. Good as new. Well, good enough for now. I'll have the doc look at it when we get back, but this'll hold. Doesn't that hurt? Kixera finally asked, her voice small and terrified. Jake considered this. Yeah, it hurts. But pain just means the nerves are working. It's when you don't feel pain that you need to worry. He packed up the first aid kit. You good to continue the survey? We've still got 4 more sites to document. You want to continue? You just performed surgery on yourself. Field surgery. And yeah, why not? The bleeding stopped, the wounds closed. No point wasting the expedition. Jake picked up his sample kit. Come on, daylight's burning. Kixera followed, still in shock, recording everything. Her expedition report would become legendary at the Galactic Academy. Human physiology appears designed for catastrophic damage tolerance. Subject sustained severe laceration and responded by self-administering surgical repair while maintaining casual conversation. When asked about pain levels, subject indicated pain was not that bad and immediately resumed field work. Conclusion: previous assessment of human fragility requires complete revision. Species demonstrates remarkable damage tolerance, pain threshold, and most concerningly, a casual attitude toward self-inflicted medical procedures. Recommend: do not alarm humans about their injuries. They appear to consider life-threatening wounds as minor inconveniences. Further study needed to understand how they survived their evolutionary history. Professor Hickstal added a note at the bottom: humans are either the most resilient species in the galaxy or collectively insane. Possibly both. Exercise caution when assessing their medical needs. Their definition of emergency differs significantly from galactic standards. 3 weeks later, when Jake's arm had healed with only a faint scar, Kixera asked him how he felt. Jake flexed his arm, testing the mobility. Good as new. Might not even scar that bad. On my world, such an injury would require a month of regeneration therapy. Jake grinned. Different planets, different evolution. Earth teaches you to heal fast or die trying. We chose healing fast. Kixera made another note in her research file: human healing factor borders on supernatural. Subject treats permanent scarring as aesthetic choice rather than medical concern. Species classification remains terrifyingly resilient.